That delayed reply is a fact. The rejection story is something your mind added. You have probably found yourself staring at a half-read message, wondering whether you have done something wrong, or feeling a sting when a friend cancels at the last minute. The brain loves to fill gaps, and when the gap is neutral, no clear praise, no obvious criticism, it often defaults to the worst-case story. In this narration, we will untangle that habit and give you 6 practical tools you can start using today. First, acknowledge the feeling that surfaces. It is natural to want reassurance. We are social creatures wired to seek connection. When a reply is delayed, feedback is brief, plans fall through, or a loved one seems quiet, the mind can interpret those neutral moments as personal rejection. The promise here is simple. By the end, you will have a clear, calm method for separating the event from the meaning you assign, so you stop letting these moments dictate your mood. The first tool is to separate the event from the meaning you attach to it. A text that is not answered at 2 p.m. is simply an event someone hasn't typed back yet. The meaning you add, "they don't care about me," is a story you are telling yourself. When you notice the story forming, pause and label it. I am interpreting this as rejection. Then step back and observe the fact without the story. This tiny mental split creates space for a more balanced view. The second tool is to generate 3 neutral explanations for the event. After you have identified the story, ask yourself, what are 3 completely neutral reasons this could have happened? For a delayed reply, possibilities might be, the person is in a meeting, their phone is on silent, or they simply forgot. By listing neutral options, you dilute the power of the negative narrative and remind yourself that many explanations have nothing to do with you. The third tool is to ask once instead of mind reading. The urge to guess what someone is thinking is strong, but it wastes mental energy. If the uncertainty is genuinely affecting you, send a brief, non-accusatory query. "Hey, just checking if you saw my message." No rush. This replaces speculation with a single, clear data point, and it shows you value honest communication over imagined drama. The fourth tool is to regulate your response before you reply. When you finally get a response that feels brief or curt, your first instinct might be to fire back defensively. Take a breath, count to 5, and notice the physical sensations: tight chest, quickened pulse. A short pause lets the emotional surge settle, allowing you to choose a measured reply rather than a reaction driven by perceived rejection. The fifth tool is to use a feedback filter. Not every piece of feedback is meant for you, and not every silence is a signal. Create a mental filter. Is this feedback directly about my behavior, or is it about the other person's circumstances? If the answer is the latter, you can let it slide without taking it personally. This filter helps you focus on constructive input and ignore noise. The sixth tool is to redirect the moment into a chosen action that aligns with your values. Instead of ruminating on the neutral moment, decide on a purposeful next step. If a plan was cancelled, perhaps you use that time to finish a personal project or take a short walk. If a message was brief, you might choose to share something you have been meaning to discuss, shifting the conversation toward a topic you control. Consider a concrete scenario involving Emma at work. Emma sends a quick okay to a manager's proposal and feels dismissed. She applies the first tool, noting the event, a short reply, and the story, "they think I'm incompetent." She then lists 3 neutral explanations: the manager was busy, the reply was a placeholder, or the manager intended to discuss it later. She resists mind reading and instead sends a polite follow-up asking for any thoughts. When the manager replies with detailed feedback, Emma's anxiety dissolves because she replaced speculation with fact. Now picture Tom, whose friend cancels dinner at the last minute. Tom's initial story is "they don't value my friendship." He pauses, lists neutral reasons: traffic, a sudden work call, a family emergency, and chooses to use the freed time to prep for an upcoming presentation, employing the sixth tool. By the time his friend calls later to apologize, Tom feels calm and in control, having turned a perceived snub into productive action. A different example features Maya, who receives a brief text from a partner after a long day. She notices the story forming that the partner is pulling away. She generates neutral explanations: the partner is exhausted, the phone battery is low, or the message was sent in a hurry. She then sends a gentle check-in: "Hope your day went okay," and waits for a fuller reply. The brief exchange becomes a bridge rather than a wall. Another illustration involves Alex, who posts a photo on social media and receives only a single like. Alex's mind jumps to "no one cares about me." He separates the event from the meaning, lists neutral possibilities: friends may have missed the post, the algorithm may not have shown it, or the timing was off, and decides to spend the evening reading a book he has been meaning to start. The neutral moment becomes a cue for self-care. These scenarios show how the 6 tools operate in real life, turning vague uncertainty into concrete steps. By separating fact from story, offering neutral explanations, asking once, regulating before replying, filtering feedback, and redirecting into purposeful action, you create a habit loop that weakens the grip of imagined rejection. Remember, you choose the story you tell yourself. Try each tool over the next week, notice how your mood shifts when a message is delayed or a plan falls through, and share any insights with friends who might benefit. The more you practice turning neutral moments into neutral facts, the less power imagined rejection will have over you.